Okay, people gonna leave. I'm okay with that. It's a little lengthy, but it's very informative, and it gives us an understanding of what the cost is. You know, it's going to give you statistics about black businesses. It's going to give you statistics about things that have been taken from us as individuals, the cost. Okay, so look, let me get ready to pull this up. I'm going to pull this up real quick. Let me see what we got. Okay. And we're going to get this thing started. So, so we're going to talk about, this is Sean Richardson, the black tax, the cost of being black in America. This was done last year, but we're going to let him share some things, right? And I'm going to interject. I'll be interjecting so that we can get understanding. Once again, share this right now. Share this. This is not going to be for everybody. I already see everybody has already jumped off, which is okay with me, because this is not for everybody. Okay, let's get this started. Let me know if you guys can hear this. Let me know if you can hear this.
If we can aggregate. So the book is so, the first part is a look at the cost of the discrimination across multiple industries: the housing, automotive, job search, high-end careers, online commerce, business, financing, to see what that picture looks like. The second part of the book, I try to answer a pressing question, which is, how is it that after 400 plus million African Americans own just 2% of US wealth, either are consistently inept, or there is something else happening in the environment that we need to take a closer look at. The third part of the book, we explore an economic framework.
So when we look at this, right, we look at this 400 years, 40 plus million black Americans, we only own 2% of wealth. A lot of us already know that. A lot of us already know that. We explored the economic framework, talk about create 6 million jobs, 1.4 million businesses within the black community, okay?
Called PhD, as a framework that individuals, families, corporations, businesses, so on and so forth can employ if they want to address two particularly pressing issues. The first is 6 million jobs and 1.4 million businesses with staff, not sole proprietors, businesses with staff.
See, that's the one thing that we really have to take a look at. Businesses with staff. Businesses with staff. Staffless businesses does not spur economical growth in our communities. And that's one of the things that we have to start looking at.
Across the broader black community in America. Those two things combined with $8 trillion of net worth that is also missing are the single biggest drivers for almost all of the socioeconomic issues and challenges that we are facing. So what is the black tax? The black tax is a financial cost placed on Black Americans by people and or institutions that have conscious or unconscious.
So when we look at some of these statistics, right? When we look at some of these statistics, look at that, which combine 8 trillion of wealth missing in the Black community. We always talk about the $1 trillion, whatever you say, but there's a combined of 8 trillion of wealth missing in the Black community, right? Are the single biggest drivers of social economical problems faced by African Americans. We always talk about what our spending power is, but this is what's missing in our community. Okay? With the financial costs placed on Black Americans by people or institutions who have conscious or unconscious anti-Black racial biases that results in the practice that systematically disenfranchise African Americans. We really have to start looking at stuff like that. Let's keep going. This is what's missing in our community.
Right. Research has said. So in 2000, Stanford, University of Chicago studied to try to understand how much bias is across the country. Found a couple of things. Found that the portion of Americans expressing explicit, conscious bias, anti-Black attitudes, which is a significant portion of the population. Also took a look and say, how much of the population has it? Conscious bias. It's closer to 6%, 6 in 2012. Harvard has been researching this for a number of years. Researchers developed something called the implicit association test that they use to tease out unconscious bias. And what they have found is that 75% of Americans, almost 8 out of 10,
Wow. He said unconscious. 75% of Americans unconsciously have a preference over white people than Black people. He didn't say 75% of white Americans. He said 75% of Americans, period, has a preference over Black folks.
They also found that this automatic preference, as they call it, predicts for people.
So, and I'm going to let it keep going on, but we have to understand the backdrop, the mindset of some of the things that's going on. For us to actually understand we're missing $8 trillion worth of wealth, there's a preference over white folks over us, 75% of Americans. So these are the foundational information that we need to have.
As a matter of fact, they say that this is empirical proof. So these are the facts. I
need you really to pay attention. A lot of this stuff we just take for granted, right? But when you look at all this stuff, then we have to look at the cost that is costing Black Americans. I'm talking about financial wise. What is really costing these things that's happening to us is causing a financial hardship. When you look at disparity of wealth, this is what's going on. So we have to correct these problems.
So this was like, right? Depth of your experience, the length of your experience, right? And what they did, they changed the name of the resume. So they would put what's up, Brandon, right? And they would put same resume, black out. So Jamal, Lakeisha, right? They would send them out to various employees. I want to see what the response was. So one of the first things that they saw was for the name, the white sound. They saw 50% more callbacks than the same resume, very same resume, that just had a black sounding name. So, and only 50% more callbacks than Lakeisha. No difference on a resume whatsoever. The other thing that they observed was, as you increase the quality of the resumes, so the school, the depth of experience, and the length of it, so on and so forth, they saw with the white sound. One line. Yes. So, for women, for Hispanic,
So I want you to look at some of these statistics here. You know, white sounding names, 50% more callbacks. Increase the quality of the resume. White sounding name, callbacks went up by 30%. Black sounding name, callbacks, no change. Resumes with black sounding names could need 8 more years of additional work experience to have the same likelihood of getting a callback as a resume with a white sounding name. The level of discrimination was significant and uniform across industry and occupation, size, or whether or not the employer claims to be equal opportunity or not. Okay, women, Hispanic, foreign-born participants all experience higher employment rates. This is what we're up against. This is one of the things why I say with our incubation program to spur economic growth, where we have to start hiring people. We got our young people going to college. They get out of college, there's no jobs because we don't have the businesses to hire them. Let's keep going.
their employment. So, scales increased over the course of that year. No change.
So think about it. They went through the same year process, same training, same, everything was the same. But everybody's employment history went up. But there was no change in the Black participants. We got to start changing our mindset. It's got to be a bigger flow than just, becoming an entrepreneur and creating wealth. No, we have to be able to spur economical growth. Hold on, we got to stop for a second. The level of discrimination during the job search is so high that researchers from Arizona State University found that white job applicants with a felony conviction get more callbacks than Black job application with no criminal record at all. Wow. Wow. And I'm looking, I'm seeing people hop on and off. This is exactly why, this is exactly why. This is for people that want to stay on. This is for people that look at the replay. That you have to stay focused. You have to find out what you're up against. If you're an entrepreneur, you need to think about if you're a conscious Black person that wants to change your community and wants to do something good, okay, you need to understand these statistics. You need to understand what we are up against. You say, well, I don't know, we don't know everything, but I do know this, right? That the cost of being Black in America is financial. We already made the statement, $8 trillion are missing out of the Black community. Let's keep going.
So we don't do all this kind of.
So let's stop for a minute. So those of us who are thinking we up there and everything, legal professional, whatever, let's show you what you up against.
And it's is written by an associate who's white. They want to see what the response would be, right? So what was the response?
Now I want to make sure we get this understanding. These are the exact same memos. The exact same memo. It ain't nothing different. It's not. It didn't matter who wrote it. It's the exact same memo. It didn't matter who it came from. It was the exact same memo.
A white lawyer that wrote it. Their rate of the memo was a 4.1 out of 5. It's like an 82. memo that has errors in facts and analysis of the facts and grammar and spelling, right? That's a pretty high grade. Now, for the partners that thought the memo was written by a black lawyer, 3.2 out of 5. That's a fail grade. That's a 64. You did not pass go. And not only did they receive that failed grade, but the projections of this person were much, much lower.
So let's get this straight. Same memo, same partners. Half the memos were from black, was stated for black. Other half was for white. The whites was 4.1, the blacks was 3.2, 3.1, 3.2, which economically affected those black lawyers moving forward, missing revenue in our community.
Same memo, no difference. Just told you one, this is a white person who wrote it, this is a black person who wrote it. Very different paper on it. Now, another interesting thing was in terms of like the grammar and spelling errors, when they thought that it was a white lawyer that wrote it, they found 3 out of the 7 errors.
Okay, so let's get this straight. 4.1 out of 5 was what they rated a memo from a white person. 3.2 out of 5, and prediction of success is lower for the black lawyer. You have to look at the economics about this. You have to look at the economics of what has just transpired from that 3.2 to that 4.1. The success rate, even though it was the same memo, same exact mistakes, right? There is an economic loss in the area for that black lawyer. And then when you look at this, it talks about it was 7 errors. Out of the 7 errors that they thought was coming from a white lawyer, they found 3. So when they thought it was a black lawyer, 5.8 out of the 7 areas they found. So they found 100% more errors found from the same memo that had the same 7 spelling errors and grammatical errors.
Right? Now, if you're a partner and that's your assessment, then it might be difficult for that. Could be 11 million.
Wow. So let's get this, let's just share this. If the black lawyer is unable to get on track to become a partner because of this kind of bias, even though the quality of his work is the same as his white peers, this could cost the black lawyer 11 million in earnings over the course of his career. The cost of being black in America. Some of these statistics of what I'm showing you is how do we correct these problems, right? So there has to come a point where we have to have our own black law firms. We have to have our own black things that can recoup that $11 million. So all you entrepreneurs, I'm not, people want to be entrepreneurs. That's great. But at some point, we're going to have to develop businesses, or we're going to have to be able to hire people to spur economical growth in our communities, to recoup all this $8 trillion worth of missing revenue that's in the Black community. See, so that 11 million is really, it's more than just that individual. See, so it tells you 3% large firms, only 1.9% are partners. But the point that he's making, or the point that we want to get across to, that loss of revenue, it's not just for that individual. It hits the community, it hits his family, it hits the church, it hits everything that he's connected to, or they connected to, he or she connected to.
Now,
See, you, these are the information statistics that we're not understanding. A Black $65,000 less. You do that over a 10-year period. What does that affect? Not just his personal, but it affects everything that's connected to him. His limitations of being able to do things.
35% more. This is adjusting for experience and specialty, hours work, all that kind of stuff, right?
So I'm going to stop right there. That's just going to be my part one. I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to stop right there because it's I'm sorry. I want you guys to share this. I want you guys to really take time out. I don't want to give us too much. How many minutes was that? I don't know how long that was, about 30 minutes, because I know our attention spans aren't that great. At least mine's aren't. Like I can sit down, because I did sit down and watch this video, and on average, I'm watching videos hour and a half and then reading and all that good stuff. But now I have a better understanding what we're really losing in the Black community. We need to understand these things. Like I said, I see people jump on and off. This is not important to people, to Black folks. It's important to some. And this is what I'm trying to get this information into the hands that it's important to. Because we have to start understanding, we have to stop wasting our time on things that's not relevant to the people we're trying to connect with. You're wasting time, you're losing money, the whole 9 yards. You have to come, who is where's your realm of influence, your circle of influence? Who is that with? Who are the people that are connected to you? Who are the people that every show, every place, every workshop, everything that you're invited to is not necessary for you to go. Because people are not on the same page that you are, and you're trying to make a difference. We're trying to make a difference in our community. We're trying to make a difference in people's lives. I hear it all the time. People say, well, we want to start business because we want to help people. Well, in order to help people, you have to set your business up a certain way so that you can hire people, so that you can have economical growth, that you can spur economical growth. in your community. You've got to be around things that are resources, that have resources for you and things like that. So look, I'm gonna get ready to get out of here. That's just part one, right? That's part one. This afternoon, tonight, I'm gonna do part two. I'm gonna do part two. Uh, I'll put out another feed for when it starts and everything, and I'll put my Facebook thing out there, and I'll put my uh, Zoom out there and all that good stuff. I appreciate you, Sister Vivian. You're so faithful. You are so faithful, faithful. I see you on everybody's feeds, and it's amazing. I do want to give a shout out. So those of you who are listening, one of the things that I do, one thing I notice about Miss Vivian Reed, she's out in New York. She's always supporting everyone. She's supporting everybody that she's connected to. She's sharing. She's on their feed, and she stays. I feel that the same way. Uh, anybody I know, and I'm gonna be time, I'm busy, but I'll put it on there. I'll turn the volume down, but I'll support them to give them that number, and then I'll listen. But everybody that I'm connected to, I try to be on their feeds. I try to support them. But one thing I always do, even if I can't listen, I always share. I have like 4 or 5 pages. I always share them to my 4 or 5 pages, and I share them to a couple other groups. And that's what we need to start doing to get this information out there. So if you guys are looking at this replay or you did the watch party, share this, because it might not be for you, but it might be for somebody who needs this information, that we can connect with that individual, or we can connect with that organization. And now there's some resources available for us to make these things happen. Because like I said, this is not for everybody. It's not for everybody. This information, some people don't even care about this information, but there are some people who do care. So look, I'm gonna get ready to get out of here. This is Rage Corner coming to you live all the way from here, where it's here, right here. And like we always say here, Rage Corner Live, God loves you and I love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. And listen, we're getting ready to I'm getting ready to do a thing with my incubation program. I'm getting ready to open it up for the next 2 weeks, where we're gonna have a special sign-up rate for you, Like I said, my incubation program ain't for everybody. I have a lot of people that come and start it, but never finish it, because there's work involved. You have to be able to sacrifice if you want to get to that quote unquote next level. If you want to be able to hire people, okay? You want to be able to hire people, then guess what? There's certain things that you have to do to spur economical growth in your community. Hey, God loves you. I love you. And ain't nothing you can do about it. Peace out. Talk to you guys later.